Vishu is this 20 years old Indian guy from a small Indian village. He goes out to a big city called Mumbai to find a job, and after 2 to 3 days of struggling, he finally gets a job in Mr. Burma's house as a house help. Vishu was good in all these household works and all. He was not much educated, and finally he was accepted very well by Mrs. Burma actually. And while working over there, he met this guy called Pratap. Pratap was a driver in Mr. Burma's house. Vishu finds a close connection, and he goes to Pratap, runs to Pratap, and he says कि अरे प्रताप भाई, मैं शहर में तो नया हूँ, थोड़ा मेरे लिए एक अच्छा सा घर घर ढूंढ लोगे? मैं एक गांव वाला बंदे के साथ रहता हूँ. एंड प्रताप वाज हैप्पी बिकॉज ही सेड कि यार तू तो इतना भी छोटा नहीं है, तू आजा हमारे साथ शिफ्ट हो जा. हम लोग 6 लोग मिलके एक छोटे से रूम में रहते, फ्लैट जैसे रूम में रहते हैं. तू भी आजा, हम 7 लोग हो जाएंगे. हमारा रेंट भी थोड़ा अच्छे से कम हो जाएगा थोड़ा. Vishu was happy because he got a job. Finally, he got a home to stay, a house to stay, and they finally things went on. And Vishu and Pratap, they had an amazing friendship. Like it blossomed from the day one, and धीरे धीरे करके they had an amazing chit chat, gossiping after the duties finished in Mr. Burma's house. They will go and they'll drink and eat together. Moreover, it was an amazing friendship. So 6 months, 7 months, it went by, and finally, one fine day, Mrs. Burma comes to Vishu and says कि विशु बेटा ये ले कुछ पैसा, and कुछ दिनों के लिए तू थोड़ा गांव जाके घूम के आ जा. Vishu was shocked, like why suddenly? But more than that, he was excited to hear this thing कि गांव जाके घूम के आ जा, because after 6 to 7 months, he is finally getting a chance to go to his mom, his village. एंड मिसेस वर्मा टेल्स हिम कि यार हम लोग थोड़ा 4-5 दिन के लिए वैकेशन में जा रहे हैं, और तू जाके यार आराम से अपनी मम्मी के पास घूम के आ जा यार. विशु वॉज हैप्पी, एंड विद दिस डिलाइटफुल मूड ही गोज टू प्रताप एंड सेज कि प्रताप भाई यार, आज तो मालिक बोल दिए कि थोड़ा गाँव जाके घूम के आऊँगा यार. आप जाओ वेकेशन में, मज़े करो, हम थोड़ा घूम के आते हैं, फिर मिलते हैं 3-4 दिन बाद. Pratap was also happy. So Vishu and Pratap both greeted each other, and Vishu dispersed to his village. He was very happy. Vishu was very happy. And days went on. So first day, second day, third day, fourth day in his village, and Vishu is sleeping on the floor. And if his phone starts ringing, Vishu then picks up the phone, and it's one of his roommates from Mumbai. विशु, प्रताप भाई के बारे में पता चला तेरे को? प्रताप भाई के बारे में क्या पता चलेगा? मतलब 3-4 दिन पहले से मिल के आया था यार. नहीं, आज एक्चुअली वर्मा जी के वहाँ से कॉल आया था यार. प्रताप भाई गुजर गए यार. क्या क्या बात कर रहा है तू? एक्सीडेंट हो गया यार, ट्रक के साथ उनका एक्सीडेंट हो गया. और Vishu was shocked. Out of disbelief, he starts calling this Mrs. Burma's number. And after 2-3 missed calls, finally Mrs. Burma receives the call and confirms the news. She said कि यार क्या बताऊँ यार, प्रताप उस दिन बोला कि गांव का कोई दोस्त थे, मिलने जाना है, तो जाके गया था वो मिलने के लिए, और फिर पता चला कि यार ट्रक के साथ उसका एक्सीडेंट हो गया यार. विशु वाज शॉक्ड टू हेल. He could not believe that the person he shared an amazing bond with is no more in this earth. He's not speculating anything, because he has heard the news, straightforward breaking news. Also, we as human beings, when we hear the breaking news for the first time, what it generates generally, it generates emotion. Breaking news is there to generate emotions. It might be anger, it might be sadness, it might be happiness, it might be disgust. All these things are emotions, because you hear some incident and you get some kinds of emotion. You are not speculating. Now 7 to 8 days they pass by, and Vishu one fine day switches on to his TV, and he sees this new channel and anchors and panelists are shouting over there, and he sees this photo of Pratap. He's like, Pratap bhai yahan kahan aa gaye? And this panelist and this narrative that is written in that heading is, rich dominates the poor again. And he was shocked. Vishu was shocked. How come in my mind I could never think like this? This might be an angle. Now here the journey of agenda starts, because every journey, if you see the agendas, every kind of agenda, they start with something called instinct, biasing or inclination. Everything like right wing versus left wing, capitalism, communism, conservatism, socialism, all these things starts from something called this inner instinct, or inner biasing, or some family values, some conditioning, everything, you can see from all these angles. Now this idea gets into his mind, and here this person, this Vishu, he has this option. He will not think anything, and now he will go with the narrative, chalo main dimag nahi lagaunga, let me also go by the news. And finally he switches, he changes to the channel, and the other channel is telling some opposite narrative. It was like, it's a coincidence, why you are blaming the rich? He again switches on to another channel, and here he sees his roommates, all the clip of his roommates and everyone, they're shouting slogans like Amir log hi hi, Amir log hi hi, and all these slogans. He's like, yaar kya ho raha hai yaar? He's perplexed like anything. He's thinking like, he's totally confused, like how this issue can come by. Now he is calling to Mr. Burma's house and nobody is picking up the call. Now this speculation in his mind, the news that he's been pandered by, that might be right. Now here Vishu tries to do something that many of us will not do. That is to take a jump to find the truth. क्या हो सकता है यार? Let's see. क्या हो सकता है? सच्चाई क्या हो सकती है? Without getting biased by the news, and there is something in it, because he thinks, Vishu as a human being, he thinks that Mrs. and Mr. Burma were very cordial to both of them. Why should they kill them? So it took some 3 to 4 days to get over this news thing, Otherwise he was biased. Many of us don't use our brain over there, कि हम लोग दिमाग नहीं लगाते, न्यूज़ जो बोलता है चलो हाँ यही हो सकता है यार. And this is a very popular narrative. This rich versus poor, this is a very popular narrative. We all connect to this narrative, That's all. Now he gets into the matter. He knows all his biasing, his instincts, his conditioning, his background, everything might be challenged. His friendship with Pratap, the character of Pratap, everything might be challenged. But let me find the truth. Let me seek the truth, not find the truth. I'm not CBI and I'm not crime branch. Let me seek the truth. Vishu said, let me seek the truth by data. Let me get data from people. Chupke, like he tried to accumulate data and from every kind of source. And finally, he reaches at a point and he finds the truth that actually it is a murder. Actually, his friend Pratap is killed. Actually, it was a plan to take a vacation to kill Pratap. He was shocked. Now he can go and stand with with a group of people, with his roommates and before the media, and he could have shouted the slogan, Amir log hai hai, Amir log hai hai. But now this guy chooses to take one step ahead. वो जाता है, बोलता है कि चलो ठीक है, हम दूसरे एंगल से भी देखेंगे मेरा भाई प्रताप को मारा क्यों? Why did they kill Pratap? And after accumulating all kinds of data, here Vishu finds that Pratap was a molester. Pratap, not even one day, today, from many days, Pratap have been trying to molest the daughter of Mr. Burma. Out of her friendliness, Pratap kinds of think it's an invitation and tries to touch her inappropriately. And he was shocked. Now Vishu was shocked to the core because his belief, his biasing, his instinct are challenged, are pointed fingers at. That this might also have happened. Now, it's a very hypothetical angle of the story. Here, Vishu represents all of us. How we are so strong to our biases. Now, he has two ways. He can either choose this way or he can choose that way. Where to go? He can be with Mr. Burma's side because he had taken their namak, or he can choose rich versus poor narrative where the poor people revolt against them with slogans. But he knows these people are powerful and they thought killing is the solution for them and they can get away with it. At the same time, Pratap was no good man. And not a single road is perfect. Everywhere there is a fault, there is a loophole. He can choose to stand in the middle where very, very, very few people are standing. That is called a neutral point. Let me see how the truth unfolds. Or out of this peer pressure, I'll go and stand in a queue and start putting out slogans, You know what happened? Although he had seen both the sides of the story, he finally, after 4 to 5 to 6 days, one fine day, we see on the TV, Vishu is standing in the queue that has been revolting against the rich, saying, Amir log hi hi, Amir log hi hi. Here, Vishu is nothing, no one but all of us. We all know somewhere, we all see the other side of the story. Still, we are stickler for our biasings, for our own instincts, for our conditionings. We always choose our sides inside. We can blame both the sides. At the same time, we can appreciate both the sides. But we always choose one side. That's our agenda. That's how agenda works. It all starts from that instinct, that first instinct, and it stays with us forever.